So why is it that buying a brand new car could be a big expense for you on your budget? Well, I'm going to be covering that in this video. I've done a very thorough research going over averages in the United States. So you have to take some of these numbers and do your own calculation to see what works for you. I've made some notes here, so let's start with some of these basic numbers. Let's assume that you're in the United States and you are between the ages of maybe 23 and 27, which most people are after finishing college and probably getting an entry-level job. You're going to buy a brand new car that costs about $3,000 and you have no down payment on this money, and also you have a decent average score which gives you an interest rate of about 6%. Now the question is this: how much are we going to be paying? Well, with these numbers we're going to be paying about $483 on a 60-month term car loan. Now the thing is, that isn't a huge number for someone that works a $40,000 entry-level job. Remember, you've just finished college and you have this job that pays you about $40,000 per year. So every month you're making about $3,300 excluding taxes, which means after taxes you'll probably be paying around $2,800 or so. Paying about $483 on that amount of money isn't bad at all. I mean, if you look at those numbers, but here is what you're probably missing. So I'm going to be running these numbers real quick and I'm going to put it on the screen so that will make it easy to follow along. The first thing is the car loan is about $483. The next thing is the insurance. We're calculating an average insurance rate in the United States to be about $270. Obviously, I know that this varies depending on the state and depending on the age and all that factor, and also the type of car you drive. But you're buying a brand new car, you probably want to put a good insurance on the car anyway. So we're going to go with the number of $270 per month. The next thing is your gas every week. We're calculating about $30 to $40 per week. So we're just going to make it $30 to be on the safe side. And that comes out to be about $120 per month. And then we have the maintenance factor that comes into it. And this is an average number that I grabbed off the internet. Obviously, these numbers could differ depending on how often you drive the car. But anyway, the maintenance factor comes out to be about $100 every month because the average rate is about $1,200 per year. When we total all these numbers on the expenses on just the car, it comes out to about $973. Hey, but there's one more thing: the registration for the car every year. We calculated that to be about $70 per year. So in total per month on the car, it comes out to be about $980. That is a steep number if you ask me. Now the question is this, right? Looking forward, going into this purchase of the car, you never really calculated all of these numbers per month because that's how we are. Most people, when we make a big purchase like that, it's just something that we really want. We never really look at things that would discourage us from buying it. We often want to look at the optimistic side of it. That means we usually look at our take-home pay and then look at the monthly payment on this vehicle, and then we just go ahead with that purchase, forgetting all other factors that comes with it. I mean, if you did your numbers, you know that paying about $1,000 on a $2,800 income per month is very high. So let's move on to your income. Remember, we said you have an entry-level job of about $40,000 per year, excluding taxes. Now, when we include the taxes, both state and federal, we make it about 18%, and that means that you'll be paying around $7,200 on just your taxes. So when we take out that, we have about $32,000 left. Now we have to consider your health insurance, your 401k, and other dues. And to be honest, I'm being conservative on this number, but I'll make it around $1,600 per year. So we are down to about $30,400 for the year after taxes and dues and health insurance and 401k that you may have contributed. And mind you, we're contributing very little to this 401k. We're looking at rounding all these expenses. After taxes, we're taking out another 5% to go towards the health insurance, the 401k, and other dues that you may have to pay depending on where you work. But let's move on to the next thing. Then we have to consider the big expense, which is mostly for everyone, which is accommodation. Now, this accommodation, we're budgeting around $1,200. And mind you, $1,200 is being conservative as well, because in the United States, the average number is around $1,400 for an apartment. But I'm being conservative with this number and I'm going with about $1,200, which means at the end of the year, you would have spent around $14,400 on just accommodation. Then the next thing is we take out those numbers and now we have $16,000 left. Well, let's now move on to the car. Remember, that's the next big purchase, right? So we calculated your car payment to be about $980 per month. Well, if we multiply that by 12, we get around $11,760. And if we take it out of the $16,000 that you have left to spend for the year, we have around $4,240 left. Wow, we started from about $40,000 and now we're down to $4,240. Well, that's not all. But remember, we haven't calculated your student loan that you may have. and other expenses that comes along, like entertainment, buying new clothes and new shoes, traveling, going to new places, visiting friends and families, donating to people or courses and things like that. All these factors haven't been accounted for, and we already have $4,240 left. By the time we account for all of these factors or these numbers, depending on your situation, we are down in the negative side. And this is exactly why a lot of people stay in debt much longer, because you have so much money being taken off on things like a car. Remember, there's nothing wrong with buying a car, but you can always buy a small car to get started with, especially when your income is very low. Now, this is exactly what happens to a lot of people after finishing college and also getting a new job. They start to think they make a lot of money, and you forget that you have all these other expenses to account for, and this is exactly why you will wonder why you never have any money by the end of the month. The point is, if you haven't struck that like button yet, you should have done that a long time ago, because you have really gained a lot of information from this video, and on my channel this is exactly what I talk about. So if you're new, please consider subscribing by hitting the red button below. So the question is this: what are the options you have? Like I mentioned, you can often just try to save up some money to buy a small car. The other option is reduce the amount of money you spend on your accommodation. Remember that you can always split your rent with people, live with other people, live with family members, live with friends, so that you can save a lot of money on accommodation. Next thing is, don't buy a brand new car, buy a used car and buy it on a very low amount of money. Hey, the other thing I didn't mention is the fact that the interest that they will charge you on a 6% loan on a $25,000 car is around almost $4,000, and that's a lot of money that you're also going to throw away over the course of the 60-month period. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you found value in it. Please give it a thumbs up, and also leave your comment or your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll see you in my next video.